Let me introduce myself first. My name is Henrieta Baková. I am customs officer 24 years. I am responsible for IPR protection area 13 years. I worked financial administration and the directorate. I was responsible application for action, national internal market action 12 years, and now I am work at criminal office of financial administration, and I am responsible for the operations, different operations. First of all, I would like to thank you for the workshop organizers to present and to share the best practices in Slovakia. To you today, all event 2 days. This is my first experience with Southeast Asia, Indonesia, through presenting. I am truly honored to present to you today. We can start with my presentation. Let me introduce the scope, the agenda of the presentations, the mechanism for national and international cooperation, and custom statistics of the last 3 years in the Slovakia, training in Slovakia, use of IP enforcement portal, and the main challenges in IP enforcement. Very is important the mechanisms for national and international cooperation. I start with the cooperation with customs and other governmental agencies in Slovakia. Is the national cooperations. It is the ministry cooperations with Ministry of Finance of Slovak Republic, Ministry of Economy, Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Foreign and European Affairs, Ministry of Education, Science, Research and Sport of the Slovak Republic, Slovak Trade Inspection, and Industrial Property Office of the Slovak Republic. The next slide is a cross-departments committee. What's the department? What's the committee cross-departments? The committee for the coordination of the fight against counterfeit and copyright piracy. The committee consists of the representatives, as you could see the previous slide, the all ministries and plus Slovak Trade Inspection and Industrial Property of the Slovak Republic. The committee was established by the Slovak government on 16 March 2011 by its resolution number 194. The committee is managed together with Financial Administration of the Slovak Republic, Industrial Property Office of the Slovak Republic. What's the common task of the cross-department committee? The main task of the cross-department committee are to monitor, assess, ensure, and coordinate the cross-department activities related to protection and infringement of intellectual property rights that go beyond the scope of single department, developing a national strategy to combat counterfeiting and copyright piracy, as well as related action plan, along with the coordination of their implementation. Then next common task is coordinating the exchange of requested information with Observatory of EU IPO counterfeiting and piracy in the Slovak Republic, to initiate and coordinate information campaigns and programs to enhance the public awareness of the intellectual property protection. The next, the facilitate training for relevant institutions and fight against counterfeit and copyright piracy. I provide expert support to the administration of the intellectual property information portal. The next, the strategic priorities. What is the strategic priorities? Building public awareness of the negative consequences of the counterfeit and copyright individuals on society, reducing the level of IPR infringement and combating significant trends in the trade goods infringement IPR, having reliable, accurate data on the extent and structure of IPR infringement. Then, analytic area, collection of statistical data, violations of IP rights in the Slovak Republic. Organization on the technical area. This means to develop a project of joint prevent measures aimed at combating IPR infringement in cooperation with other relevant entities. It requires to ensure the functions updating of content and promotion of the intellectual property portal, primarily in the form of cooperation between committee members. Education. Education is a part of further professional training for police, customs, prosecutors, judges, and employees of the Slovak Trade Inspection. It's essential to develop joint educational project focused on specific issues related to IPR protection and practice, which will be continually updated in order to reflect developments at the international level. It is also important to prepare education project for individual type school on the issue of IPR protection and enforcement. Legislation area. We participate in the preparation and amendment of legislation at national level. Why national level? Because Slovak customs authorities responsible also for internal market. National level and related measures promoting the effective enforcement and protection of IPR. We also follow up the legislation proposal at EU and international level, as well as we update each other their development. Internal cooperation. We cooperate with public and private sector entities active in the field of IP rights protection in order to ensure the mutual exchange of information and knowledge in the field of intellectual property rights. A particular focus is laid on the area online e-commerce. International cooperation. We monitor the activities of IPR enforcement agency abroad, as well as analyze the shared knowledge and experience gained from the international cooperation for the committee for their activities the next year and other years, the next years. We have also established a cooperation with foreign non-governmental organizations active in the field of IP rights protection. Promotion of IP rights topics to the public. Also the strategic. In the cooperation with the private sector, we have developed a project for public information campaigns focusing on negative aspects and the risks associated with the use and purchase of counterfeit and fake goods acquired via e-commerce. For organizing information campaigns by social media, e.g. Facebook, the Instagram, and our Facebook of financial administration, we use already existing structure of support activities. Cooperation with the right holder. It is very important chapter. Cooperation, simplification, and harmonization of custom procedure. This topic presents one of key challenges and priorities in the enforcement of intellectual property rights in order to simplify and harmonize custom procedure across countries. Streamlined and uniform procedure ensure faster action against counterfeit goods and reduce the scope for administrative errors or delays. Consistency and transparency. Custom authorities and stakeholders need to operate in an environment where the rules are clear, predictable, and the same for everyone. Transparent procedure strengthens the confidence of both the business sector and the public sector also in the intellectual property rights protection system. Next point, effective customs enforcement. Rapid identification and action against counterfeit and fake goods is crucial. Effective custom enforcement requires not only good legislation, but also well-trained staff, functional IT systems, and effective cooperation between law enforcement agencies. Facilitating trade. The protection of intellectual property rights should not be an obstacle to legitimate trade. On the contrary, effective measures must be designed in such a way that they don't hinder the movement of legitimate goods while at the same time effectively eliminating risk shipments. Support for customs cooperation. International cooperation between customs administration, particularly between the EU and Southeast Asia countries, is essential for dealing with cross-border cases. The exchange of experience, coordinated operations, and joint training contribute to more effective enforcement. What is important? Important is information sharing. Fast and reliable exchange information between customs authorities, right holders, and other partners is basis of an effective system. Electronic databases, early warning, and common platform enable prompt decision-making in real time. Enforcement of IP rights often involves goods moving outside standard working hours. Yeah, this is 8 hours. It is therefore important to ensure that custom interventions are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, especially at major border crossings, airports, and also the ports. Raising public awareness. The protection of intellectual property is not only responsibility of the institutions, but of society as a whole. It is essential to continue to inform entrepreneurs, consumers, and students about the importance of intellectual property rights and the negative consequences on infringing them. Very important, not only sharing information, but data collection. High quality data is essential for analyzing trends, evaluating the effectiveness of measures, and planning further steps. The systematic collection and evaluation statistics on seized goods, types on infringement of countries involved is based on strategic decision making. Coordination of measures and activities. Effective enforcement requires a coordinated approach between multiple institutions, customs, police, courts, prosecutors, and representative right holders. Well-functioned coordinate prevent duplication, increasing efficiency, and ensures consistent procedures. Provision of advice on legislation. It is important for SMEs, small and medium enterprises, particular small and medium enterprises, to have access to relevant and practical information on legislative requirements relating to the protection of intellectual property rights. Customs and legal authorities should provide advice and guidance to facilitate legal compliance. Training, also very important. The training of customs officers and right holders is crucial. And before I talk about the national cooperation, but I didn't talk the international cooperation. Who is key international partners the key international partners for Slovakia, and I think in other member states, is EU IPO, CEPOL, Europol, Eurojust, OLAF, European Commission, WIPO, World Customs Organization, Frontex. The financial administration of the Slovak Republic actively cooperates with the various international organizations in the framework of impact action plans, particularly those targeting intellectual property crime. This cooperation contributes to the exchange and sharing of best practices, joint operation planning, capacity building, and more effective cross-border enforcement. Berenger this morning talked about operation plans. Not only operation plans, is the operation with running. Slovak Republic last year joined the operations Fake Star, Ludus, Olympics game. This year, Slovak Republic joined to the activities, to the operations also Fake Star, Electron, and it's the November this year, Slovak Republic together, Europol, organized the kickoff meeting for the kickoff meeting Silver Axe for the illicit trade of pesticides. It's very important meeting also. Custom statistics of the last years. I prepared for the last years in Slovakia. Could you help me, please? Because I can't click for the next slide. Thank you. Thanks. Perfect. Please wait. Previous slide, please. For the custom statics. Previous. Next, please. Thanks. Thank you. This is an overview of the number of applications in the Slovakia. What kind of application could be submit the right holders in Slovakia for the protection of IPR? It is the application for action on internet market and AFA's application for action by regulations. You can see the applications for the years 2022. This is the Union AFAS 1173, national application for action 20, application for action internet market is 83, and together is 1,276 applications. And you can see the year 2023 application for action union 1,407, national application 29, and the application for action by national law in intermarket 131. Together was granted by customs 1,567. And the previous year, together you can see 1,407 applications for action. It is very big benefits that Slovak customs is responsible also for the custom procedure and in internet market. This big benefit. The next slide is the statistics on suspected case of infringement of intellectual property rights in Slovakia. Again, year 2022, the first is number of case divide of the regulation 608, customs supervision and internet market. For customs supervision, 491, internet market, 1,061. Value of seized of goods in euro is the customs supervision 252,599, intermarket 2,051,719, and amount of seized of goods again divide customs supervision internet market customs supervision by the regulation 608, 10,381, and the national law in the internet market. The internet market is the shops on the street, yeah. In the market is 96,931. Again, we can see the 2023 and 2024 number of cases, it is depend of the year. It's we can see intermarket in 2002 is 2 million value of sales of goods, and 4 million. It is depend. It is a 2022 is the depend of was the pandemic, and now is the colleagues has many tasks, not only only department. We don't have only department for the IPR. The colleagues who is involved is responsible for the seize of goods. They has many tasks, other tasks, excise duty and stop driver, and it's different task has. Trainings in Slovakia. Trainings for the customs officers. The training was held at the Customs Officer and Training Center in Donovali. You can see it's our customs center. Slovakia has a few customs trainings in Donovali, in Bratislava, in capital, and other city, Veľký Meďer, and plus Košice. There were 50 customs officers present on site. The 2 on-site trainings were followed by a pilot project and aimed at further on remote training. The training were primarily focused on receiving alerts and sending detentions, notifications in case of suspicious cases. At the moment, I am talk about the training not only on site, but also in online trainings. You can see the lecture, this page, the Niky Semievsky of Observatory. The trainings were primarily focused, receiving alerts and sending detention notification in case suspicion cases. Right holders, we would like to extend the number of units in further customs officers. In the next step, we organized a hybrid training, meaning that the chief training, Niky Semievsky, provide the presentation on remote to the customs officer who represent in the computer room at the Slovak Customs Training Center and responding online the trainer. They worked on dummy run dealing with different cases. Then you can see another training for the customs officers. Yeah, these trainings courses were focused on the identification of IPR infringing goods aimed as distinguishing genuine products for counterfeits. These trainings provide a significant added value in enforcement efforts. The financial administration of the Slovak Republic regularly organize this training session several times a year, twice and 3 times, in cooperation with the right holders. The next training will be this September for 3 days. Also, we will organize the on-site trainings for IPEP on the start of September for 3 days. Their courses are delivered in formats either on-site or on remote or in hybrid format. The main target here is ensure broad accessibility and practice relevance for customs officer. I started to talk about the training for the customs officer, but I don't forget, but very important is the training also for the right holders. EG support was 2 years ago to right holder during the implementation of IPEP. The first on-site training took place at Financial Administration in the Academy in Bratislava at the beginning of June 2023. As again, you can see the photo, the lecture, Mrs. Nikki Semiowski, led the training for the right holders and their representatives. All the participants found it very useful and appreciated. It was the training of the customs, on-site, online, again together with observatory and hybrid format, you can see. Next slide is use of IPEP. IPEP, what is IPEP? Berenj will explain it tomorrow. But I need to say Slovakia has managed to implement IPEP. The whole IPEP implementation process started at spring 2022, based on the very productive and fruitful discussion with the observatory representatives, namely Mrs. Blanka Artech and Mrs. Nikki Semiowski. During our discussion, we outlined a few options how to smoothly execute the whole process. Since then, until now, we have successfully organized various training with observatory. Did you see it? Previous slides. Also, the representatives lecture was the Miss Berenje Dreno and Miss Evangelia Stavropoteli. Use of IPEP by rights holders and their representatives. Those of customs officer actively use the IPEP. This tool contributes to more effective identification of potentially infringement shipment, speeds up the process of the authentication of goods, and increase the level of intellectual property rights protection. Next slide, return on experience of IPEP. What is the benefit of the intellectual property enforcement portal? Told me my customs colleagues, it is the multiply language support, user-friendly interface, secure and reliable, enhanced cooperation between authorities, speeds up the enforcement process, improved transparency, accountability, centralized data and reporting, and scalability and adaptability. What we see, a shortcoming we often encounter in practice, it is that many rights holders or representatives don't respond to notification when colleagues seized the goods, a notification of suspected intellectual property infringement. And then it is necessary to send a notification of seized, of detention in paper form. And main challenges, next slide. What is the main challenges? We need to divide there are two main categories of challenges. Challenges we are under control public sector and challenges we are not out under control public sector. With which the challenges are under control of public sector. Insufficient capacity and expertise of relevant institutions and governmental agencies, limited technical and analytics tools, e.g. use of AI to detect counterfeits, coordination between national and international authorities and agencies, and low degrees of custom documents, digitalizations, implementation for custom clearance process, and which are not out under control public, we need to talk about because it's very important. Explosive growth of e-commerce and the spread of counterfeit goods via online platform, misuse of artificial intelligence generated context, e.g. the fake of trademarks and designs, 3D printing enabling cheap replications of protected designs and products, and the use of public blockchain to consult the origin of goods or to create a fake certificate, replied like changing strategies of perpetrators of globalized distribution networks. And last but not least, intellectual property is one of the pillars and competitive, prosperous, knowledge-based economy. IP rights infringement cause significant economic damage, and growing numbers on counterfeit products pose a real threat to consumer health and safety. It is therefore our common interest to have an effective support mechanism for the enforcement of the IPR rights. Thank you very much for your attention. Terima kasih. If you have any question, don't hesitate, contact me via email or afternoon later. Thank you.